Hello, this is Murtaza Ali Khan, and today I have a very special gathering with me. I have the director of this wonderful film, Mother Teresa and Me, Kamal Musale, and I also have the Starcast, Jacqueline and Banita. I want to come to you, Kamal, first. You have worked all over, and I know that your films have been, at some of the world's leading film festivals, and your work is also very diverse. So, what brought you to this subject? Because Mother Teresa is a very famous, at the same time, a very intimate sort of a subject. So what is it that really got you hooked to begin with?
Well, it's true that it is a very delicate subject to approach, but I have been living in India for past 17 years in part-time in Bombay, and I have been exploring all the country, and before that I have been to other continents, and I have seen a lot of misery, people, sometimes after war, and sometimes, people just dead or dying. And these emotions were so strong that when Jacqueline and her foundation approached me to think of a film about Mother Teresa, that was for me exactly what I needed to use this emotion that I left, that I suppressed somewhere in my mind. And so I thought it's a vehicle for compassion, and at the same time I've learned I remember that I learned from an interview of a French sister. She was explaining the loss of faith that Mother Teresa had, and I didn't know the detail, I just remember that, but I thought, oh, what an interesting arc, what an interesting character, and how do you move from compassion to abandonment, or the feeling of abandonment? Why do you hide to everybody that you have lost faith and you pretend to continue working? So all the thing about this character of Mother Teresa made it like for a compelling drama that I thought was to be turned into a melodrama, and to make sense of it, as to understand her emotions, and also to make sense of this film today. That's why the idea of having a second story of Kavita on top of it, which, make a dance in the storyline and help us to understand all the emotion that we go through. That's why this story of Kavita emerged, and today we are able to see the result, and we are very, very happy with the result, how this melodrama brings love, compassion, and strong emotion, and tells us something that is a message also of hope for the future.
You talked about her journey, and whenever somebody talks about faith and questioning faith, I'm immediately reminded of, a filmmaker like Ingmar Bergman, or sometimes even Martin Scorsese. So who were your references, if any, for this kind of a project? Was it something that you had in your mind that...
No, for me, I questioned religion from an early age. I was born a Hindu in Switzerland, then I became a Protestant, Catholic, and then I went. Then I, stopped that, and I became a bit Buddhist, and then I became, I think, a poet, and then I just thought, like, I don't, want any stickers anymore. But through this process, I made long fasting. I thought about, the meaning of life, and also why do people need leaders of thoughts, leaders of different way of behavior in life, and that's I find interesting a character like Mother Teresa, because there is a huge surrounding, obviously, around it. She's like a little island into a country like India, where you have a habit of mixing so many different religions, so many different sub-religions. But that's not the main aspect of the film. It's just like the colors of the film, but what we talk about is under the table. It's really the deep emotion of humanity, of saving people, and of giving something for free, inspiring to give something for free. I think that's what we talk about mainly.
Jacqueline, I've seen the trailer, and I really liked, what I saw, especially your performance and Banita's performance. So what does this project mean to you? Like, what is the importance, like, at your personal level, at your professional level, if you could throw some light on that?
On the personal level, of course, it was always very important to me, and it's a part of the vision of this film, to help to inspire people around the world to really live with compassion, and to believe in that we can really change something as individuals. And on the professional level, of course, it was a huge challenge, but I love challenges, and I just thought it's a privilege also to be Mother Teresa and to really go into all these depths and layers and to show her as a human being, as the woman behind the saint, to inspire people around the world to really stick on their visions even in times of troubles and doubts.
The transformation is really remarkable. So what was the most challenging part of this, from this to this?
It was a whole journey. Besides the sari, the makeup, you know, I really worked very intensively with Kamal, with all these different energies, with all the different angles and aspects of her character, with her physics, with her accent, Albanian accent in the English, some Bengali. I also worked on, you know, the way of the voice changes in some emotions. So this was challenging, but I just loved to go this journey and to get such an enriching, gift out of it.
It is, you know, to play such an important character, and I've seen, you know, the rushes, and I'm really excited now to watch the film also.
Oh, nice, thank you.
Banita, in a very short, you know, duration, you have really managed to carve a niche for yourself. You know, I've seen you in October, I've seen you in Sadarudam, very different. But somewhere, you know, there is the sensitive core, you know, a very sensitive core for an actor to, you know, play these kind of complex characters. And again, here, though it's not the same character that you are playing, but there is still this sensitive, you know, core to it. So what does it take to, you know, conjure up these wonderful performances which are so different, and yet the core, you know, and the challenges of playing that part? Because now I see you sitting in front of me, and I don't see any similarities, you know, between you and your characters. So what does it take to, you know, go in that mode, and what was the specific preparations for this part?
Firstly, thank you so much for appreciating my work. It makes me
deserve
so
all the
happy. I think I've been very blessed to work with really good directors like Kamal, like Shujit sir, and having that as a backbone when you're a young actor really helps to guide you on the right path. I also think I'm much more comfortable in quieter spaces. I like to speak a lot through my expressions, through my eyes. That's my favorite part of performance. So I think I tend to gravitate towards characters like these, where maybe not so much is said, but a lot is being said kind of behind my eyes. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just very lucky. If you have a great team, everyone helps each other and everyone builds each other up. So I think I've just been fortunate to work with the right people.
You know, we really look forward to anything and everything that you do, because you have really, you know, cast a spell, you know, in a very short time. And
Oh,
I really
thank
hope
you.
that this continues and builds up, you know, in a much bigger way.
Thank you.
Kamal, in the end, I want to come to you. I know that you have this association, Swiss India Film Bridge, and some films are in place. I think 3-4 films are in place. If you could throw some light on that before we end this interview.
Well, I'm half Swiss and half Indian. We had tried to make this bridge between Switzerland and India for co-production, but maybe when I started it was a little bit too early in time, but now it's becoming again something that is very interesting because content becomes important here in India again for film. The kind of little education people get, appreciation from material on Netflix, you know, forces filmmakers here to also think of content now because they have to compete with this content. So I think that's also help bring bridges, because we have this bridge not only with Switzerland but also with Europe, and I do a co-production with England with you know, British film. So for me, it's a very interesting development, you know, how the two cultures from UK, Europe, and India mix together to bring something that none of them would exist without the two. So that's, you know, 1 + 1 make 3. So that's the idea.
Jacqueline, Banita, and Kamal, thank you so much, and I wish you all the very best. And I really am excited to watch this film, and I'm really sure that it's going to be a very, very important film.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.